Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to do a little bit of an update on my Game Room Solutions 4-player pedestal that I have here. Obviously, as you guys saw by the title, pretty big upgrade in sense of quality with the new display that I have here. We're going to talk about how this ended up over here, what I did to get this, and show you guys some gameplay to kind of portray like how much of a difference this thing makes compared to the old TV that was here before, which we'll talk about because I do actually have another one of those models right behind, which we're going to talk about here in a second. So this is a pretty big upgrade. This is not something I did when I first bought this machine because I was trying to get the cheapest TV I can get basically because I was already spending a lot of money on this 4-player arcade machine with the gaming PC that I got with it at the same time because I didn't have a full-on gaming PC that has like a 4070 in there to be able to play this stuff in 4K. My old TV was a 4K TV also, but not an OLED and not as good as this TV is. But we're going to talk about all of that and showcase it. So let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming tech. Gaming tech is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Alright guys, so first thing before we get into some gameplay is to talk about this TV and what is going on here. So first let's talk about how I got this down here. That's where we should start. So if you look across the room here, and yes, all the other machines are of course powered off right now, you have my Golden Tee machine. Now this is the exact same display. This is a TCL 43-inch 4K TV. I only paid like $200 for it, $220, which is the exact same TV I got for this Golden Tee machine and the exact same TV that I got for this machine here. They were back to back pretty much. And, obviously for Golden Tee, this Golden Tee is a 1080p TV. It has the arcade collection and Golden Tee. I have no plans of changing this out because even the 4K TV is overkill because it's not even using the 4K display. Yes, will this Golden Tee look better with better colors and stuff like that? Obviously. But I think this looks good. I've done gameplay on this before, and I don't think there's any reason to upgrade this. I think a $220 TV for Golden Tee is a perfect substitute, unless if I come across a TV that's better, that's just really cheap. But I'm not going to go out and buy a $500 plus TV just to play Golden Tee in 1080p with better colors. Because this TV is not a bad TV by any stretch. It's just, you get what you pay for. It's a $220 TV that's 4K from TCO. You got to know what you're getting into. And I knew what I was getting into when I bought it for this, and I'm still happy with it, and this plays well with it, and this will be a perfect setup for it. But when it came to this, I have a really powerful gaming PC that I built when I got this machine. It's sitting back there. You can't see it because it's kind of hiding back there. You can kind of see the lights of it. And it's running a 4070 graphics card, and it's built for 4K. And then I had a screen that just didn't do it justice. The colors weren't good. It wasn't OLED and stuff like that. This is obviously the main machine that I play when 4 players are over here, when we're playing 4-player games. Like I've talked about before, this machine is all about 4 players. So you're not going to find things like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat and stuff like that on here because those are 2-player games. That is reserved to play on the Polycade because this is my modern machine that I play. Anything that is 1 player, 2-player, or anything that fits with these unique controls, which I've always talked about. So they each have their own unique purpose. So anything that's 4 players lives on here. And you're saying, isn't that just arcade games? Well, no, there's a lot of stuff on here that you can play 4 players. Things like N64 stuff, GameCube stuff, Switch stuff, PlayStation 3, Dreamcast. You got trackball games, you got Windows games, and the arcade games. And there's a lot of Windows games that you can play with 4 players here, like you guys are seeing here, Tape to Tape, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all the new ones that came out like Shredder's Revenge, Splinter's Fate, Towerfall Ascension, Tricky Towers, Wand Wars, Wild Card Football, and some of these are, games that require some power with the PC, but it's not even that it requires power, it's that, you want these games to look good if you're playing them on a arcade, and that a TV was just not doing it justice. Like I said, like I was thinking in my head, I got the Polycade machine right here. It's a 1080p screen, but the screen that they use on this one in 1080p is fantastic. And every time I looked across these two with my old TV, and I looked at this one, I was like, why does this 1080p screen look better than my 4K TV that's sitting right next to it? And I'm playing a lot of powerful games on it, and I have a powerful computer with it. So, that's kind of what got this conversation started. I was like, you know what? It's time to get rid of this thing. And I got rid of that TV. I had the TV up for sale for like $100. Because like I said, it's only a $220 TV. And you can see just the colors right now on the OLED. Of course, this is a 120 hertz screen, so you're going to see all of these games. Most of them are going to hit 120 hertz because a lot of these games that you play on the arcade are not, something that require too much power for the most part. So most of these are going to hit 120 frames a second. which is awesome. And they're going to have the OLED, they're going to have the inky blacks, they're going to have the way better colors and just way better overall. I mean, you're talking about a $220 TV to, you know, a LG C2 42-inch screen TV that you're sitting here that, you know, is better in every regard. So a lot of these games are going to just be that much better to play on here, whether it's GameCube, even MAME stuff, or things like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which looks fantastic on here. So just a lot of good things overall. Now, how did I get this down here or what came about? Well, if you guys watch this channel, this LG C2 actually came from my PC setup upstairs. So let's take you guys upstairs real quick to tell you guys what I'm talking about. Now, I've had this PC set up for a while and I just did a full review on this stuff. So if you guys want to check out the video that I posted yesterday, when this video came out, you can definitely do it. But we have now gotten rid of the LG C2 42-inch screen that I used to just have on my desk and I was using as a monitor. And we got two actual monitors, and I go over in that video why I did that, why I went away from the 42-inch screen that I had here that was a TV that I was using as my PC setup, and I got tired of using it that way. For all the caveats that a PC setup has with a TV, you know, you have to deal with the headache that it doesn't turn on with your computer. You have to deal with the software updates that that thing has. The 42-inch screen was great, but obviously it took up a lot of desk space and it was only one screen. So if I was playing a full screen game, it's not like I had another monitor next to it to be able to look up YouTube or have a Discord chat up or whatever the case may be on the left or anything like that. And LG and monitors nowadays have come a long way. These are both two OLED screens. This is an ultra wide. I haven't had an ultra wide in over 10 years, which is awesome. Ultra wide, both of these are Alienware. This is a 34-inch ultra wide, 175 hertz monitor. This thing is awesome. And then this is the one that came out last year that people rave about. This is the Alienware 32-inch OLED. That's 240 hertz, and this thing is amazing, and they both give way better colors and color accuracy than the LG C2 did. The only thing the LG C2 wins on is the HDR-ness. These are HDR 1000, but they don't get as bright as the LG does downstairs, so HDR will look better on that LG TV. Obviously, they're all, you know, they all have their caveats and stuff, but this is a way better workflow for me. Having two monitors, the monitors are freaking fantastic. Having two of them again, and having one that I could use for my work PC over here with an ultra wide, and being able to play ultra wide games again. And also, I think this gives more of a wow factor when friends come over and they're playing, because seeing an ultra wide that people don't see every day instead of just a regular TV sitting on my desk for a PC, this is going to be, you know, a lot more like, holy shit, this looks awesome kind of thing. So a lot of the reasons that I go over in that video, if you guys want to take a look. But yeah, that's where the TV came from. I got these two monitors on sale. I got this one for only $400 on a Facebook Marketplace pickup used, but it was basically brand new refurbished. And this one was on sale for $900 instead of $1,200, so it was $300 off. So, and then I moved the LG C2 downstairs. Now, I would say the only negative thing about this, and I said negative in quotes because it's not even that big of a deal, but I'm just a little anal. And you guys may have noticed when I was already showing this off, obviously, when I put the mount back there on the back of the TV, it was made for this TV, and this is a 43-inch TV, like I said, that was here before. And this is now a 42-inch, and it's obviously a different style TV. So what that meant is unfortunately, it's not exactly, I can't get it exactly perfectly centered the way I want to. And the reason I say that is because if I move, with the way the bracket's designed, if I move it all the way to the left, then it's too close to this machine because it's going to come all the way like to here, basically, with the way that that bracket's designed. And then it's going to be in the way of people playing that 4-player machine over here. If I push it, if I put it in the middle where I want it to be, like, and where I move it a little bit more to the left, so it's not as close to these arcade controls that you guys are seeing here, that it's kind of like right there on the edge, where my old TV was, like maybe like 2 or 3 inches over. If I do that, then the problem is that the TV sticks out too much, because the only way to get it flat on the wall is it being either all the way to the left or all the way to the right of the bracket. So if I want to put it in where I want to put it, which is right in the middle, 2 inches over, then the TV is going to stick out like literally up to here, like another like 8 inches or something. So it's going to look horrible with this here, with the way that this is. So I settled on leaving it like this. I think this is the best way to do it. Obviously, this is because the old one was a 43-inch and I set it up for that one. And this is 42-inch and it's a slightly different TV, so it's not perfectly in the spot that I wanted to, but I think overall it's fine. I think, like I said, I can't move it over anymore. The only thing that, like, for anyone who's like crazy about this stuff is I was trying to make it as even as possible with the trackball, and you can see the trackball's right here. And if I look up at the screen, if you guys are looking at, the logo is obviously where the middle is, and it's like an inch over. Not even an inch, probably a couple of centimeters. Nothing that anybody came over my house would ever notice, because just looking at it, it looks perfectly fine. But for someone like me who's anal, I was like, damn, if I could just get this over a couple centimeters. But again, for the reasons I just talked about, I can't, unless if I literally just dismount the monitor arm back there and create new holes, and that was just way too much work just to get this to move over a couple centimeters. My OCD will get over it. Like I said, I played this 4 players on each corner, and when you're playing over here as 4 players, the TV's in a good spot. This is in a good spot. And you know what? Even though the trackball is like a couple of centimeters off the center, guess what? When you're playing player 1 or player 2, you're never in the center of the TV either. Even if I had this moved over a couple centimeters so the trackball's in the middle, when you're playing player 1, I'm always off center off the TV. And when you're playing player 2, I'm also off center. So I'm always playing this machine off center because that's how a 4-player machine is set up. So at the end of the day, does it really matter? Probably not. But that's the only thing that, like, you know, quote unquote, sucked a little bit when I made this move. But everything else went perfectly fine, went up easily. You could see the TV on the wall, and this is, like I said, much better. But let's go ahead and get into some gameplay to show you guys how good this stuff can look. All right, let's start off really simple. Let's just start off with an arcade game here. And actually, let's start off with NBA Jam. So, of course, you're still going to have the borders when you're playing main games and stuff like that, as you would expect them to. But even though this is just a regular main game, it's still a lot of fun. You can see NBA Jam looks really good on here, and it's smooth as butter. Left him wide open. Oh, he got macked. Hit that. Good job. Nice block. Ah, shit. Got him. Oh. It was open too. Get that. Good job. All right, we got this. Damn. Good shit. It is a lucky bounce. That's what I'm saying. Oh, I messed that up. And we suck. Hey, needed that. But yeah, you guys get the idea. NBA Jam looks really good. Obviously, it's a very simplistic game, but you can see main game works really good on here. Let's look for something a little bit more colorful. Let's just do the Simpsons here real quick. All right, so let's go ahead and put in our coins. And here we go. There's the Simpsons for you, looking fantastic. Playing really well. Just like you would expect Simpsons to play. And obviously, it being a really colorful game really showcases how good this OLED panel looks. Let's exit out of there. Let's go into just a Windows game, just to give you guys another look into something a little bit more modern. Tape to Tape is such a great game. Let's go ahead and show this off. You can see right there, the game is running at 119 FPS. Right there, of course, the MAME games are not going to run at 120 FPS. They're just going to run at 60, but you can see right there, NVIDIA G-Sync is turned on because it's NVIDIA G-Sync compatible and 120 frames per second. So it's awesome when you're playing Windows games on this 4-player machine to have that. And you can see everything is obviously set to 4K uncapped. Doing the anthem there. Obviously, the game looks really vibrant and colorful. Love this game. Ooh, almost just scored. Ah, shit. Good save. Ooh, good save. Ooh. God damn, I'm getting wrecked. Can't even get a pass off. But yeah, you can see the game plays really well. Game plays fine, and he's about to score, isn't he? Surprised he didn't. But yeah, you guys got the idea. Let's go ahead and exit. And they just scored as I said that. Another good one that shows up how colorful it is Boomerang Foo. This one looks really, really good. Here we are with Boomerang Foo. We'll check the options here real quick. You can see 4K. Quality was set to medium for some reason. All right. Choose our characters. Add some bots. Do a free-for-all. Leave the modifiers as is. Game looks great on here. Really simple controls. Dash, slash, and throw. Got him. Warm-up rounds. Changes the map every single time. It's such a great multiplayer game. I think a lot of people have heard of it. Uh-oh. Got him with the double. Got him with the triple. Oh, I missed the swipe. But yeah, that's that game there. As you guys can see, we'll quit that out. And the next game we're going to take a look at, and the last one here, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I mean, it doesn't get any more colorful than that. This is a great game. The reason that this one's on here, even though it's not 2 players, is because the mod that's on here actually lets you play with 4 players. So that's why this one's on here, in case you guys are wondering. It's like, hey, this is a 2-player game. Nope. It's a 4-player game with the mod that they have for this game, which is great. See, if I go into settings here, and I go into display, You can see 4K, everything is set to high, which is the highest it can go. Let's just do a quick battle.
I shall fight. Captain America. We'll fight as a team. Iron Man. I am Iron Man. Black Widow.
Hi, Tony.
Only one team will be left standing.
You can see the graphics and everything are completely changed because, like I said, this is a mod. So there's a lot of changes if you guys are looking at this being like, why does this not look like Infinite? It's because it doesn't. It's a mod to the game that lets you play with up to 4 players and updates the graphics, and it looks fantastic. Look at this.
This is a great opportunity. I always wanted to test my suit out on you.
Who will come out on top? Ready.
Spotlight! Spotlight!
Looks freaking fantastic. Running amazing. At full 4K resolution. I'm also not that great at this game. Damn, he blocked me too. Jesus Christ. Switch. Give me some Captain America. Ah, shit. She blocked that too. Damn, I suck. Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. Shit. I'm also noticing that the display's flickering every once in a while, which I haven't really noticed until now when I'm recording this video. I think that's the HDMI cable. You guys have probably seen it flicker a couple of times. I've seen it too. I think it's the HDMI cable. I'm just going to swap it out after this video. This HDMI cable's a little old, so it's probably the HDMI cable. Got to switch it out. But what a fantastic game there. And you can see how good it looks on the OLED, minus that flickering and stuff that's going on. But like I said, but yeah, let's go ahead and get into my final thoughts. That gives you guys some gameplay to check out how good an OLED can look with some of these games that you play. Some people think that, you know, just because it's an arcade machine that there's no reason to have an OLED. And that's not true. It depends on what kind of games you're playing on there. So let's go ahead and get into my final thoughts. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. And you guys saw, based on the gameplay and everything that we talked about, how much better an OLED TV is for 4K. You know, for Player Pedestal. Now, obviously, if you're just dedicating this build, if you build your own, to just playing arcade classics like, you know, NBA Jam and stuff on Mame and stuff like that, the OLED may be overkill. You're still going to get better colors and stuff, and it's still going to be 120 hertz, but it's going to be overkill at that point because, you know, even though you're going to get better colors in the display, you're going to be paying a lot of money for this, for a TV that's only playing old school games. But for me, this being a 4-player machine that's not just Mame, but also playing a bunch of Windows games and GameCube games and Switch games and stuff like that that are all 4 players, this made a lot more sense when it came to stuff like this. And this is only going to grow when I add more and more games over time to be able to play on this machine. So this is now the best display in this arcade, technically. I mean, it's really close to the gun machine that I did a review on, the light gun machine that I just did last month as well. That also has a 4K screen in there. It's a Samsung 32-inch monitor, but it is not an OLED, so this still beats it in that regard. And it is higher refresh rate than that one. So yeah, this is the best TV in here. Even though the Polycade is a 1080p TV that's right here next to me, that kind of sprung this TV thing. It's like I had this Polycade here with a 1080p screen that even though it wasn't a 4K screen, the colors and how good this screen looks, which I've done in gameplay, shit on my 4K TV that I had here before. And I was like, how am I going to have a 4K TV that's being outed by the Polycade over here that looks so much better in colors and contrast and just overall a much better display than even that 4K TV was. And I was like, you know what, I can't have this. So that's kind of what sprung this. And I was like, I need to figure this out. And you know, that's where we are. So I appreciate you guys for watching this. Like I said, if you guys have any questions about anything I did in this video and anything you guys are doing, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching. Till next time.